Good morning, I'm meteorologist Chita Craft with your 7 a.m. update here. The National Hurricane Center has the latest update with maximum sustained winds at 90 miles per hour with Hurricane Fiona. It is moving in a northwest direction around 8 miles per hour, and you can see that well-defined eye still, even though over Puerto Rico, with all that land interaction, and it was extremely slow moving over this past weekend, it has really left catastrophic damage across portions of Puerto Rico. This is now shifting towards closer to the Dominican Republic before it starts to completely lift northward. And because of that westerly direction, even at 8 miles per hour, that's still going to keep a lot of this rain, which is on the dirty side. Notice how you can see all the rain on the east side of this. That's what is called the dirty side of a storm or a hurricane in this sense. And that's where all these feeder bands continue to line up. They pull all that deep tropical moisture across the area, and that is what has led to these rain accumulations so severe over the past 48 hours. Now, even a broader scope of Hurricane Fiona, you can still see that well-defined eye, again, shifting a little bit closer to the Dominican Republic, but still bringing a swath of rain over Puerto Rico. Give this about 12 hours, and then all of this is going to gradually start to lift north, but so broad in the circulation here. Even the outermost bands, as far as the cloud cover goes, moving northward as well. So this is a very large hurricane. It is expected to strengthen over the next couple of days. As far as additional rainfall, we are expecting anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of rain just within the next 2 days here. But again, as this starts to lift northward, it will take the heaviest feeder bands and really place them over the open waters of the Atlantic. So the heaviest, strongest threat is starting to weaken from Puerto Rico and the Bahamas. Even the Dominican Republic will start to get a big break late this evening into early tomorrow morning, but it's fairly slow moving. It's at 8 miles per hour. Typically, we like to see these move around 12, 13 miles per hour as they're moving away from land. So right now, still remaining as a Category 1 hurricane with maximum sustained winds at 90 miles per hour. Once Hurricane Fiona moves into the open waters of the Atlantic, it is really warm out there right now. So very quick development is expected. Not out of the question we'll go from a Category 1 transitioning to a 2, but briefly transitioning maybe to even a Category 3, which would put that at major status. But tomorrow night, that could happen as quickly as that. So hurricane warnings are still in effect. Puerto Rico, notice, still under a tropical storm warning. They're still continuing, just like you saw on the radar, to pick up additional rainfall. I think another 1 to 3 inches of rain is possible as those feeder bands are still over Puerto Rico, but it really shifts towards the Dominican. And then once this pulls northward, it is going to at least leave some of the areas that were hardest hit this past weekend. There is the current cone from the National Hurricane Center going from a Category 1 to a Category 3 at a major status, but this is when it's really the strongest. This is when I'm not expecting anybody to be impacted. This is when it'll be over the open waters of the Atlantic, crossing over Bermuda, so we may be hearing and seeing visual reports from Bermuda of a major hurricane by Wednesday or Thursday, and then this eventually starts to shift east. And the reason. So we're watching this area of high pressure. And even last week when we were monitoring what was potentially Fiona and then Tropical Storm Fiona, these were the two setups that we were watching. Now around high pressure, you get clockwise flow. So the upper levels of the atmosphere wants to take a hold of Fiona and shift this eastward. If this could have moved a little bit faster, Puerto Rico wouldn't have been hit quite as hard. But because it was such a slow moving hurricane, there's just not much you can do with that. I mean, even if you take some of the winds away, that amount of rainfall just does so much damage. And it's really 5 years ago, they were dealing with this exact same thing. So Fiona starts to shift eastward by about Tuesday evening into early Wednesday when it becomes major status. Again, brushing towards Bermuda, staying east, though, of the East Coast. What we can tell you across the states here along the U.S., it's just going to get really, really hot. But that's that main area of high pressure that's going to continue to shift Fiona to its east. High pressure here is going to start to bring in some potentially record challenging or record breaking heat as we head into the first day of fall. The vernal equinox is on Thursday. Temperatures will be close to hitting that triple digit mark, and that's going to be the case for much of the week and into the upcoming weekend. You can continue to see the latest updates on khou.com.